everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see from the title, we're doing a house in Windenburg, and I was very creative and named it Windenburg House because I couldn't think of a different name. But yeah, that's what we're building today. It's a pretty big house. I mean, it's not too big, but it's pretty big. I think I can't remember what the size of this lot is, but it's in like the top left corner. You can see, I think it's called Coringberg Cottage. So yeah, that's where it's built. I know it's been a hot minute since I last uploaded. The reason for that is because I actually hurt my arm. I did a little like community post about it, but if you didn't see that, I did like a repetitive strain injury on my arm. So I kind of like messed it up because I was like planning builds and like building and like playing other games because Spider-Man had come out, the second one, and so I was playing that, and so I think I kind of just overdid it, and yeah, my arm and my hand were kind of out of business for like a week and a half. So it's still a little bit, you know, touch and go, but I am seeing a doctor for it soon, so yeah, but it has improved quite a bit, so that's why I was able to get this out. I don't know if you can tell from like the footage here, like as I'm building the floor plan of this house, but basically I pre-planned the way this was going to be laid out, so that, because in my head I thought that it wouldn't take as long to do, and it wouldn't be as much strain on my arm if I already knew like how things were gonna be laid out, because then I wasn't gonna be spending a lot of time on it, and then the less amount of time I spent on it, the less strain I was putting on my arm. So that's why this like part, I don't know if it's like noticeable, but that whole floor plan part I feel like feels very kind of slow, but it's because I was trying to like copy off the picture that I had taken of what I had already built so I could build it again. Yeah, so if it's weird there, that's why. But anyways, yeah, I just built this this house. I think I was just, because sometimes I just go in the game and I just kind of like build rooms, and I think I'd built, I think it was the dining room maybe, but I was like, ooh, this is cute, and so then it kind of inspired me to do the rest of the build. And then I was looking on like Pinterest and other stuff, and I was finding like inspirations for different kids' rooms, and then I was like, ooh. So the idea of this house was that there's two parents. One of them is a, like, I think I thought that they were like a professor or a writer. So they do like a lot of like kind of office work, which is why they have an office right at the front of the house. So that's for like one of the parents, and then the other parent is actually a interior designer. So they like designed a lot of the rooms in the house, and like to keep everything really neat and uniform, except for like the kids' rooms, because it's like kids' rooms, and so they're going to be a little bit messy, but that's like their own space, so I don't think they mind as much. But yeah, so the other parent is an interior designer, so they did like the rooms in the house, and I think like a lot of the times when I do the like landscaping of a house or like a build, I'm not really good at landscaping, to be honest, but when I do it, it's usually kind of like haphazard, and like there's grass growing and like, you know, flower bushes and stuff, just because I feel like most people in life don't really know how to garden. Maybe it's just me, and like where I live, but I feel like most people don't usually know what they're doing in gardening, or like don't have like a super manicured garden. The only time that you really see that is like if the person's older, and so they, you know, have had a lifetime of knowing what goes where and how to like plant things, or it's something they're interested in. Like, you know, there's like an off chance that you'll see someone's house and they'll have like a nice garden and they're younger, but a lot of the times it is usually elderly. at least where I am. So but yeah, I thought with this build, with the parent being like an interior designer, that they probably like have like a whole team that they do you know, interior designing with when they go into other people's houses, like construction workers and landscapers. So they're kind of like well connected in that business. So I'm assume because they're probably pretty well off that they can afford to like hire people to come and do like the landscaping and like keep it all nice and prim. So yeah, that's, I don't know, I kind of went on a tangent there for that, but that's the reason why that the landscaping for this build is more manicured than I usually do. But yeah, so I kind of talked about the parents, and now the kids. There's 3 kids rooms. One is for a teenager, and one is for a kid, and then the other one is for a toddler. So there's like 3 different ages there. Yeah, I had like this idea for the kids room to be like space themed, and I was thinking about having like built-in bookshelves and the bed in the center, and I like the way that it turned out, so hopefully you guys like that too. But yeah, I guess we should talk too about the recent news in the Sims community, which is the pack coming out, Sims 4 for Rent, which is a bad title. I don't like that title at all, but that's what it is. So yeah, it's Sims 4 for Rent, and it's a Thai themed world, or Thailand themed world, or Southeast Asian themed. I think they weren't specific about it. I think they said specifically, or they didn't like specify like exactly where. I think it's just kind of a broad Southeast Asian world, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's got like a night market, and obviously like the whole point of it is to like rent out like apartment buildings. You can build like townhouses, or I've seen people talk about being really excited to build like retirement homes, which is like such a good idea, honestly. So yeah, that's coming out. I have a very strong opinion that this is, like most things, I feel kind of cash grabby, because it's something that should have been in City Living already, and there's a lot of people saying that, but I do agree with that. They wanted to do like pack refreshes like they did with Spa Day, and they just kind of dropped it, but they could have easily put that mechanic in City Living. And so yeah, they should have just done a pack refresh with City Living and then made it so that we could build our own apartments and like rent them out, because that's literally all there is to the pack. Like, I don't know, they did like a gameplay trailer, and all they show is the fact that you can rent things out. So I'm like, okay, so like that's it? Like you're making people pay, at least where I live, $55, and I think in like the US and other places like $40. But like for me it's like $55. I'm like, I'm not paying $55 to just rent out a space. Like, that's insanely expensive for it's just like one mechanic, really. I would absolutely love that mechanic. I would love to build townhouses, because I do it already. Like, I'll build townhouses, or like the brownstones that I showed in like my apartment tours video. Like, I really enjoy building like multi-lot sort of builds, but like I can't in my head justify a $55 like game just so I can build like multi-lots like that. I don't know, I'm having a hard time just like justifying that price. So I would love to build those lots for the channel, but I don't know if I'm gonna buy that pack, so I don't really know what to do. I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll just get it like on sale in the future. I know it's probably not going to go on sale for a while, just because it's coming out near like the holiday season. So I know they're banking on people getting it for Christmas or like other things, but yeah, so it's probably not going to be on sale until like, I would say not even, I'm not even sure if they would put it on sale on March break, because I think they usually have sales around then. I would argue that it wouldn't be on sale till like summertime. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is, I guess. If you guys are excited, let me know in the comments. I know some people just kind of want a different world. And I don't think anyone said this. Maybe this is controversial. I don't know. The world doesn't look that exciting to me. They haven't really shown a lot, so maybe that's like an unfair statement or opinion to have at this point. But it doesn't look that exciting to me for some reason. I don't know. It feels kind of like they just obviously cared about this like one function of like the renting space and probably didn't put that much effort into the actual world around it, because they're probably banking on people, you know, really mostly builders to get this pack, because I feel like most people wouldn't really care about being a landlord. So I think it's really just a pack for builders specifically to get, and for like people who do YouTube and build on YouTube to kind of do the marketing for them, because when they do builds for it, people are gonna be like, oh, I would love to use this build and now I can use it in tandem with this pack, and so they're gonna go get the pack, you know, because there's not a lot of gameplay there. So I feel like they kind of banked on that and then didn't spend as much time on the world. But that's my opinion right now. I don't know what it looks like. I'll probably see like people's videos about it like when it releases, and like make my my full decision then, really. But yeah, I don't know about the world. It looks kind of like not, I don't know, it just doesn't look as fun. Like when people were talking about it and they're like, oh, I think it's gonna be like Thailand themed or like Southeast Asian themed. Like when it was first kind of rumored, I was like, oh, that's gonna look so beautiful. And then like I saw in the trailers and like some of the gameplay stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's like not what I thought that was gonna look like. Because I don't know, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll look better when like I see gameplay, or maybe it won't. I don't know. I feel like they probably didn't spend that much time on it. Like I said, they're probably just mostly focusing on like the build aspect of it, in terms of like the actual function of being able to build a multi like dwelling space or lot or whatever. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are getting the pack, if you guys are interested in the concept of it, like the actual gameplay of being a landlord. Like, does that interest you, or are you kind of like, I don't really care about that, but I want to have like a bunch of families on a lot for storytelling purposes? Because like 100%, like that's the reason why I would ever get that pack, is just so when I'm playing The Sims, like I can have those stories unfold, because I feel like you could get really dramatic with it, you know, if they're all in that like space. I'm not sure how it works, like if you can just easily visit neighbors, how like in The Sims 3, for example, if you lived in Bridgeport, which is like the big city that came with the late night pack, it came with like the city and celebrities and all that stuff. You could like go into like the hallway of your building, like in an apartment building, and like knock on their door and then they would come out, or like you could go in their apartment, obviously with no loading screens, because we are blessed with no loading screens in The Sims 3. But yeah, I wonder if it's gonna work that way, or if it's going to be like you have to go through a whole loading screen just to like visit your neighbor that literally lives on the same lot. I assume that it wouldn't be, because that's usually just to transfer like lots. That's why we have the loading screens, so like it has time to like load everything. But like if you're already playing on the lot, would it just be there already? I don't know. I don't remember seeing that in the gameplay trailer. People were also like complaining about that they didn't really show that much in the gameplay trailer, which is really true, because I feel like they don't have enough to show, because it's not worth the pack price, the expansion pack price of $40 to $55. So I don't think they had game to show, because it's literally just the function of being able to have multiple Sims on a lot, or multiple households on a lot. But yeah, I'm kind of salty about it, so I'm sorry about being a little bit negative. I know there's people that complain like, oh, like the Sims community is so negative, but it's like we wouldn't be, I think, as cynical or jaded or negative if they, like, you know, didn't have empty promises and like fulfilled what they said. So I don't know. I'm a little spicy today with my opinions. So, but yeah. Anywho, I talked through that whole like landscaping part. I kind of regret doing this. I'm putting like the ivy on the front here. Like, I do like it at the backyard, but I kind of wish I didn't do it at the front. Maybe just like where the windows are, but where there's like no windows and it was just like the stone, I think I should have left that detail there, and I kind of regret putting it there. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Also, this backyard, so basically I did like the first half of it with like the actual planning of the house, like layout and everything, when my arm was like kind of okay, and then I did like the furnishing and stuff when my arm and hand were like hurting. So if you see a difference in how I usually decorate or like spend time on a room in this build, it's because it is different, because I had to build differently and deal with like my arm hurting in the middle of it. So the rooms might not look as, I don't know, polished or maybe as cluttered as I usually do them, just because it was like I had to furnish it as best as I could and not further injure myself, and being able to take breaks in between and like a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, another thing I should mention, after I was done building, I realized that I didn't put in a trash can in the kitchen. So there's no trash can, and there's also no laundry machines, because I think I forgot I was supposed to put them either in the bathroom or the garage. And I think I did leave hampers. I think there's hampers somewhere. So yeah, if you have the laundry pack, your Sims are gonna like, you know, change their clothes, and it's just gonna be a pile, and there's gonna be no laundry machines. So if you want to just like chuck them in the garage, then you can just like throw them in there, or even like the bathroom downstairs if you want. But yeah, I forgot to put them in there, so if you want to add them. Yeah, sorry that this whole build's kind of a mess, I guess, in a way of like things not being the way they usually are, but I had to make do. So this is one of my favorite rooms that we're in right now, in the study. This is for like the parent who does like, I think it was a professor. I think it was either professor or writer. I think it was like a history professor, I was thinking. But yeah, this is their like space where they do all that kind of work. I think that the interior designer probably works like out of the house. Like they have like their own like office space with like their own team of people. So I don't think they really do the work from home. So this is really just for the one parent, who's like a history professor. But yeah, I really like this room. It's actually one of my favorite rooms that I did in this house. Yeah, I like it in here. Unfortunately, I think the least favorite room is probably the primary bedroom. Not because I don't like it, but I think it's because I had like a specific idea of what I wanted it to look like, and then I couldn't do it because I was kind of getting like really anxious, honestly, that I wasn't gonna be able to put a video out on time. It was like really making me stressed out because I wasn't able to do much in general with my hand, and my sister was like, no, like it's fine, like don't worry about it, like you have to rest your hand otherwise it's gonna get more injured. And I was like, yeah, but like I don't want to like leave the channel blank for like 3 weeks. So I was kind of stressed out about it, and I decided to like, you know, get this out anyways. Thankfully my hand did stop, like, well, it didn't stop hurting, but it wasn't as bad, so I could do it. But yeah, so I think like for some reason the primary bedroom just, I don't think it came out the way I wanted it to, and I don't know if it's because I just didn't have like the patience or the time to do it. with my hand, but like it just doesn't look like how I thought it would. I decided to go a little bold in here. We're in the kitchen now. I'm just like blabbering on, but we're in the kitchen now, and I did like this flooring that you see here. It's kind of tan, and I was gonna leave it, but then I didn't. I changed it to like a white one. I don't know if I should have left it. Like, I was looking at the footage and I was like, maybe I should have left it that color, because it kind of matched a little bit with like the leaves that are going on in the wallpaper, which this was like a bold choice. This little like floral moment with the tile backsplash. I don't know. I was like, are people gonna hate that? They might hate that, but I was like, I want to do something different. So yeah, I put this in here. I think it's by Suki88. I really like their CC. It's really, really nice. I think I downloaded from them for like years, and I think they also did, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they're like making CC back in the like Sims 3 days. So it's been a hot minute of me using their CC, but yeah, I think that's where that wallpaper came from. And we use a lot of Peacemaker also in this build. I've used his stuff for like a really long time. I really like it. I used to use it a lot more when I leaned more alpha. I don't know why, because I feel like it could easily like go with like Max's match, or even just like Max's mix, which is just kind of my vibe, which is like a mix of a little bit alpha and a little bit Max's match like put together. I think that's a really good like sweet spot for most people. I couldn't do like fully Max's match, and I feel like I maybe could do fully alpha. I feel like I could do it just because it feels more familiar to me, like with growing up playing The Sims 3, because that like the CC for that game was a lot more alpha like. I probably could do it. I kind of leaned more into it when I first played The Sims 4, just because the transition was easier coming out of The Sims 3 and doing like having alpha CC. But yeah, I don't know. Max's match, like fully Max's match, I don't think I could do. I think I would mix like the feeling of texture. I don't know, texture is big to me. I needed to like feel right. But anyways, we're in the dining room now. And I really like this dining room. I think it's very like moody. This whole house is really moody. I've been in a moody mood recently with building, so yeah. I really like the colors in here though. Like, I think the like really warm browns and like the wood tones and like the kind of goldy or like orangey tones in here with the blue. I don't know. It's my vibe recently, so but I really like it. I was gonna change the colors of the chairs here, but then I was like, no, I like it darker. I think I didn't show it for some reason. I kind of cut it there, but I do leave them the original like dark wood color. But anyways, now we're in the living space with lots of bookshelves, because I think that the spouse that's the professor really loves books, obviously, and like history and stuff, so they have like a lot of books, probably also like inherited down, because I think they're probably rich. I mean, they're obviously, you know, wealthy, but yeah, maybe they're like, they've been rich, like they kind of have generational wealth, and so they just have like stuff passed down onto them, like books and like, you know, vintage stuff like that. I'm not saying books were vintage, but I'm just like, they have vintage books. I don't know if that sounded like that, but that's not what I meant. Anyways, yeah, I like this room. It's very moody again and dark, but it's cozy as well. And I really like those chairs. I know they lean, I was kind of debating putting them in here because they do lean a little bit more alpha, like in terms of like the texture of it. But I just went for it anyways because I liked the shiny kind of texture that they have. It looks like it's like leather or something like that. I just really liked it. I think it suited the room. Everything's kind of blocky. Like the fireplace is very square, and then like the carpet that's square, and then the two like coffee tables in the middle, very square. And then obviously the TV and then like the console below it. So I wanted to like soften up a lot of like the rigidity in the space with like the camelback sofa, so it's kind of rounded out, and then the rest of the chairs in here also kind of have round, softer features, because otherwise I feel like it would be too much. I just feel like the camelback sofa, like it's a really nice like shape against like the back of the bookshelves. So I don't know, I just like that. I thought it looked good. I know I've used like kind of a lot of blue in builds recently, so I'm gonna try and dial it back. I'm gonna try and dial it back for the next build I do, and hopefully not have as much blue in it. I don't know if anyone cares really, but I care, so I'm gonna try and do something a little bit different. I feel like out of any color when I'm building, the like colors I use the absolute least is probably red and purple. But I feel like red and purple, if I was just like, I'm gonna build, you know, an apartment or like a house or something, and like the theme colors are gonna be red and purple, I feel like people would be like, no. Like automatically, absolutely not, because it just doesn't feel calming or like, you know, a space people would be comfortable in all the time, just because of how intense those colors probably feel. But those are the colors I use the least, so maybe I'll try and integrate that more in another build. Maybe not as intense, like maybe it's not a wall color, maybe it's a lot of accents are red and then purple. And I feel like you can really make anything work as long as the hue or the saturation is like a specific way. Like if it's not too intense, like really bright, then I feel like you can kind of get away with anything. But yeah, I'm just putting some last touches I think down here, and then we move to the upstairs. I'm putting some sconces here in the dining room on either side of this cool painting by Peacemaker again, because I use a lot of their CC in this build. It is also, I'll say, because I have to do like the CC listing before I upload, so I know like how much it is before I upload. It's quite a lot. It is quite a lot of like the same person, so you're just going to be going to the same like person's like page for downloads most of the time, because like I said, it's mostly Peacemaker. I think it's mostly Peacemaker, a winged llama, and I think like the Harlocks, like Harry and Felix stuff. So I think that's like the majority that you're really going to. And I guess Ciboulette, because I used a lot of the ones that they've done for like kids' rooms. So you'll be going to Ciboulette a lot as well. But other than that, I feel like it's not too much. Like I don't think you're going to be like jumping around from like page to page for people's CC. I think it's like this creator a bunch of times, this creator a bunch of times. So, but I thought I'd mention that because I feel like people like download the like file and then they're like, oh, I can't wait to get this in here. Let me look at the CC list, and then they look at the CC list and they're like, oh my gosh, like that's daunting. Because it could be kind of long. I put in like a bulleted list just so you can like click on it, and then it'll take you to the website. But yeah, I don't know if that feels overwhelming sometimes, but it's a lot of the same people. I just thought I'd say that because sometimes I get nervous that people are gonna be like, oh my gosh. As you can see, I did pre-do the bathrooms. I just talked through the master bedroom, which you can see. I think I do like it. Like, it's nice. The colors are nice. I think it's just because it's not as cluttered or busy as I usually do. And I know the closet's super small, but it's the way I could fit it in the space. So sorry about that. But yeah, I did like do the bathrooms before. I did like the filming up here just because it was easier for me, and I didn't want this video to be like 45 minutes long. So now we're in the toddler's room. They have a very big bedroom, so I think they're like the favorite child because they have a lot of space in here for a toddler, but you know, it's room for them to grow and play. So yeah, the dino sets that are used in here I think are so cute. It's by Ciboulette and Plush Pixels, and it's so cute in here. It's nice and bright and airy. I really like this room. It's very cute. Yeah, I like this room a lot. And now we're in the kids' room. This is also using Speedbuild. She has like this kid bedroom set that's like very like astronaut themed, and it came with that like cool like moonlight on the wall. I think that's so cute, and like all these little items, and the bed, like the bed's like super cool. I feel like any kid would love that. Yeah, there's not much in here, but I mean it's a bedroom, so they just have their toys and stuff in here. But yeah, I really like this room too. It's cute. It looks like how I thought about it in my head, so that's always nice when that happens. Yeah, we're just putting a couple items in the teens' bathroom here. They have quite a bit of space. They have like their own bathroom and their own walk-in closet, so they have quite a bit of space. Not as big like in the actual room itself as the toddler's room, but they have like 2 other rooms that are attached, so I think it makes up for the space. But yeah, I think this teenager really likes like wants to be a writer when they grow up. I think they like fantasy novels and like or like period romances and stuff, so that's why their room kind of has that vibe. And I really like this room too. But we're coming towards the end of the video. Some screenshots are going to play so you can see the rest of the build. The download link is in the description, where you can download the house, and the CC list will be added in the description as well. And here we are at the screenshots. So I'll leave you guys, and I will see you all next time. Bye!